What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, millions of men over 60 are unknowingly doing one simple thing that cuts their blood flow in half during intimacy? I'm not exaggerating. Clinical measurements show up to a 50% drop in circulation at the exact moment when your body needs it most. It's not your age, it's not your hormones, and it's not fate. It's a silent mistake that almost every man makes without realizing it, and it could be the very reason your energy, stamina, and firmness have changed. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara, a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist. For more than 30 years, I've helped thousands of men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s restore natural performance and vitality, without pills, without surgery, and without gimmicks. Here's the surprising truth. The problem isn't happening in your bedroom. It's happening in your bloodstream. You might believe your body is slowing down, but in reality, your arteries have forgotten how to open. One hidden habit can shut them down instantly. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll show you how to reverse it. You'll learn about one natural drink that can expand your blood vessels up to 200% wider within just an hour, bringing oxygen, energy, and strength back to every part of your body. And keep listening until the end, because I'll share the exact 1-hour ritual my patients use before intimacy to feel younger, stronger, and more alive than they have in decades. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another men's health video designed just for you. And if this topic resonates with you, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're watching. Or type 0 if you'd like me to cover something different next time. Now, let's get straight into it. Because before we talk about fixing blood flow, you need to understand the real foundation behind it. The first thing we'll uncover is the drink that can completely change how your body performs, by naturally restoring circulation and energy from the inside out. 1. The drink that changes everything. I still remember one of my first patients over 25 years ago. His name was Robert, 64 years old, a retired teacher with kind eyes and a quiet voice. He sat in my office, embarrassed, and said, "Doc, I think I'm just getting old." What he didn't realize, and what so many men still don't, is that age wasn't his real problem. His blood flow was. You see, most men assume that when firmness fades or stamina drops, it's because their bodies are running out of fuel. But in truth, what's really happening is that the fuel lines, your arteries, are no longer delivering blood where it needs to go. The pump, your heart, is working hard, but the pipes are narrowing. That's why you can feel alive in your mind, yet weak in your body. It's like pressing the gas pedal with the brakes still on. And here's the good news. Your body isn't broken. Your arteries aren't dead. They're simply waiting for the right signal to open again. Deep inside every man's body is a natural molecule called nitric oxide. It's the chemical messenger that tells your blood vessels to relax and expand. When nitric oxide flows freely, blood moves like a strong river through your body. When it's low, that river turns into a trickle. Energy fades, recovery slows, and your confidence begins to erode little by little. Now imagine this. There's a simple, natural way to turn that signal back on. Not a pill, not a prescription, but a drink that wakes up those arteries like morning sunlight breaking through a storm. Within just 60 minutes, it can expand your blood vessels by up to 200%. Think about what that means. Twice as much oxygen, twice as much nutrient delivery, twice as much vitality coursing through every inch of your body. This drink doesn't rely on chemicals or hormones. It relies on your body's own intelligence. It reactivates the same mechanism that made you feel powerful in your 30s. I've seen it bring back color to men's faces, warmth to their hands, and strength to their hearts. And yes, it reignites that deep, masculine energy that so many of my patients thought was lost forever. Robert was one of them. The first week, he looked skeptical. The second week, he said he felt something different. By the fourth, he walked into my office with a grin that said everything without a single word. That's what happens when you restore blood flow. You restore life. What I love about this natural approach is how immediate it is. You don't have to wait months for results. Within an hour, many men notice their circulation waking up. It's not magic, it's biology. Your arteries are living tissue, and they respond almost instantly when given what they need. But here's the most important part. Before you can understand how this drink works, you must first understand why blood flow is the cornerstone of every function in a man's body, from stamina to memory to performance. Because once you grasp how vital circulation truly is, you'll never look at your health or your manhood the same way again. 2. Why blood flow is everything. When I talk to men in their 60s and 70s, the first thing they usually tell me is, "Doc, I think my testosterone's gone." But here's the truth I've seen again and again in over 3 decades of treating men's health. It's rarely just about hormones. It's about circulation. Blood flow is the silent foundation of everything that makes a man feel strong, confident, and alive. When you were younger, your arteries were open, smooth, and flexible. Blood moved through them easily, carrying oxygen and nutrients to your heart, your brain, and your most intimate organs. That constant, healthy flow was what gave you energy in the morning, power in your workouts, and stamina at night. But as the years passed, tiny cracks began to form inside those arteries, so small you couldn't feel them. Stress, processed food, sugar, sitting too long, not sleeping enough, they all slowly damaged the inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium. That inner lining has one vital job: to release nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your arteries to relax and open wide. When it's healthy, your blood flows like a river after rain, but when it's damaged, the river turns shallow and slow. That's when you begin to notice the signs: cold hands and feet, tiredness, slower recovery after exercise, and yes, weaker firmness when it matters most. It's easy to blame age, but I've seen men in their 80s with perfect circulation who feel vibrant and strong. The difference isn't time, it's blood flow. The moment your arteries tighten, your entire body feels older. The moment they open, your body feels decades younger. I've witnessed it firsthand. A patient in his late 60s once told me he thought his best years were behind him. After a few weeks of restoring his circulation naturally, he said, "Dr. Kara, I feel like someone turned the lights back on." That's how powerful oxygen-rich blood is. It brings life back into every cell, every muscle, every thought. And here's something most men don't realize. Your brain depends on the same nitric oxide that powers your body. When blood flow improves, not only does your performance improve, but so does your focus, your memory, your mood. That's why I tell my patients, when you fix your circulation, you don't just become stronger, you become sharper. You think better, move better, live better. The best part is, it's never too late to rebuild it. Your arteries are living tissue, not old pipes. They can heal, they can relax, and they can remember how to open again. And the first step to doing that is by giving your body the right signals, the natural compounds that spark nitric oxide back into motion. That's where one simple, natural drink comes in. A drink that science shows can widen your arteries up to 200% in just 1 hour. It's not a supplement or a prescription, it's something you can make right at home. In the next section, I'll reveal exactly what it is, how it works, and why it's been called the most powerful natural booster for men over 60. 3. Beetroot juice power. The first time I saw beetroot juice work, it honestly surprised me. A patient of mine, a 68-year-old former firefighter named James, came in skeptical. He'd tried everything: vitamins, supplements, even prescriptions, but nothing gave him the energy or firmness he once had. I suggested something simple: 1 glass of beetroot juice a day. He laughed and said, "Doc, you really think a vegetable can fix this?" 3 weeks later, he walked back into my office with a smile I'll never forget. "It's working," he said quietly, "and it feels natural." You see, beetroot juice isn't magic, it's chemistry, and it's beautiful in its simplicity. When you drink it, your body takes the natural nitrates inside those beets and converts them into nitric oxide, the signal that tells your arteries to open wide. Think of nitric oxide as your body's internal green light. When it shines bright, blood rushes freely, delivering oxygen, nutrients, and energy to every organ that depends on it. When it fades, that flow slows down, and you start to feel tired, weak, or disconnected from the man you used to be. What makes beetroot juice so remarkable is how quickly it acts. Within about 60 minutes of drinking it, your nitric oxide levels can surge high enough to expand your arteries up to 200% wider. That's not just a number, it's a transformation you can feel. Many of my patients describe a gentle warmth spreading through their chest or legs about 45 minutes after drinking it. That warmth is circulation waking up. It's your blood remembering how to move again. And it's not just about intimacy. Improved blood flow strengthens your heart, sharpens your mind, and even boosts your endurance during exercise or daily activity. It's like tuning up an old engine. Suddenly, everything starts running smoother. Your breathing improves. Your recovery speeds up. You stand taller. You feel stronger. The body you thought was slowing down is simply getting the signal to live again. Now, there are a few key things to remember if you decide to try it. Always use pure beetroot juice. No added sugar, no fruit blends. Sugar interferes with nitric oxide production, cutting down the benefits. You can juice it fresh at home or buy pure, unsweetened beet juice from the store. About 8 to 16 ounces, roughly 1 glass, taken an hour before activity, is all it takes. If you find the earthy flavor too strong, mix in a bit of lemon or ginger. It'll lighten the taste without diluting its power. I tell my patients this: you don't need to flood your system, just feed it the right signal. Beetroot juice is that signal. It wakes up your arteries, it restores your vitality, and most importantly, it does it naturally, without a single side effect. But here's the secret that most men overlook. Even when nitric oxide rises, it's fragile. It can break down quickly inside your bloodstream. So, if you want to keep your arteries open longer and make those results last, you need something to protect that nitric oxide once it's created. And that's exactly what the next drink does: an ancient red fruit that guards your circulation like a shield. 4. Pomegranate Protection. When I first started studying ancient medical traditions, I was fascinated to learn that pomegranate juice was once called the nectar of strength. Centuries before we had laboratories and blood tests, healers noticed that men who drank it regularly had more stamina, better fertility, and longer lives. Back then, they didn't know about nitric oxide or antioxidants, but they knew something powerful was happening inside the body. Today, science finally explains why they were right all along. Pomegranate juice is one of nature's richest sources of antioxidants, especially a group of compounds called polyphenols and punicalagins. I often describe them to my patients as tiny shields that travel through your bloodstream, guarding your nitric oxide from destruction. Remember, beetroot juice helps your body create nitric oxide. But that molecule is incredibly fragile. It breaks down almost instantly when exposed to free radicals, stress, or inflammation. That's where pomegranate steps in. It's like assigning bodyguards to protect the very molecule that drives your blood flow. When nitric oxide survives longer, your arteries stay open longer. Blood keeps flowing freely, oxygen continues to nourish your tissues, and the warmth and vitality you feel don't fade as quickly. I've had patients tell me that when they started combining pomegranate juice with beetroot, they didn't just notice stronger circulation, they noticed endurance. They didn't just perform better once, they stayed strong longer. That's because pomegranate doesn't just boost nitric oxide, it sustains it. One of my favorite studies followed men who drank a glass of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice daily for just 4 weeks. Almost half reported measurable improvement in their performance, energy, and confidence. But what touched me most wasn't the numbers. It was how they described the change. "I feel like myself again," one man said. "Not anxious, not tired, just normal." That's the quiet power of good blood flow. It restores not only the body, but the mind's sense of peace and balance. I always recommend my patients use natural, unsweetened pomegranate juice. About 8 to 10 ounces a day is plenty. If you want the most noticeable results, drink it about an hour before intimacy or make it a habit in the morning to support your circulation all day long. Over time, the effects compound. Your arteries adapt, your nitric oxide response improves, and your entire cardiovascular system becomes more resilient. What makes pomegranate even more remarkable is how it complements other circulation boosters. When you pair it with beetroot, the two work like a perfect team. One creates nitric oxide, the other preserves it. That's why I call pomegranate the protector. It's the quiet strength that keeps the engine running even after the initial spark fades. But if you really want to supercharge this process, to not only create and protect nitric oxide, but also generate even more of it inside your body, there's one fruit that can take you there. It's sweet, refreshing, and hiding one of the most potent circulation secrets known to science. And that fruit, my friends, is watermelon. 5. Watermelon citrulline effect. There's something almost poetic about watermelon. It looks simple, sweet, refreshing, the fruit of summer, but hidden inside its juicy flesh and pale white rind lies one of nature's most powerful circulation secrets. I discovered this years ago while researching natural nitric oxide boosters, and I've never forgotten the first time I shared it with a patient. His name was Frank, 71 years old, widowed for several years, trying to rebuild his confidence. When I told him that watermelon could actually improve blood flow better than some supplements, he laughed out loud. But a month later, that same man told me he hadn't felt this alive in decades. Here's why. Watermelon contains an amino acid called citrulline, and this little compound is pure gold for your blood vessels. When you drink or eat watermelon, your body converts citrulline into another amino acid called arginine, which then transforms into nitric oxide, the exact molecule responsible for relaxing and widening your arteries. The difference is, citrulline works far better than taking arginine pills. Most oral arginine is destroyed during digestion before it even reaches your bloodstream, but citrulline bypasses that process. It moves through your body, enters your kidneys, and quietly transforms into usable arginine that your system can actually turn into nitric oxide. Think of it like fueling your engine directly at the source instead of pouring gas on the ground and hoping some gets in. That's why I often tell my patients, a glass of watermelon juice can sometimes outperform a handful of supplements. And the best part? It's completely natural, no side effects, no dependency, no crash. Studies show that men who drank watermelon juice daily for just 2 weeks experienced measurable improvements in blood flow and firmness. They reported not only better performance, but also greater energy and confidence throughout the day. And it makes sense. More nitric oxide means better oxygen delivery, smoother muscle function, and improved circulation from head to toe. If you want to try it yourself, here's what I recommend. Blend 3 to 4 cups of fresh watermelon cubes, making sure to include some of the pale white rind. That's where most of the citrulline hides. You'll end up with about 16 ounces of juice. Drink it at room temperature about 45 to 60 minutes before intimacy, or even as part of your daily routine. It's refreshing, hydrating, and surprisingly powerful. Some men like to mix it with beetroot juice or pomegranate for an even stronger effect, and they're right to do so, because when you combine these natural sources, something extraordinary happens. Beetroot helps your body create nitric oxide, pomegranate helps protect it, and watermelon helps your body produce even more of it from within. Together, these 3 drinks form what I call the triple nitric oxide booster. A simple combination that can transform not only your circulation, but how you feel as a man, and that's exactly what we'll dive into next. 6. The triple booster formula. Every once in a while, something truly remarkable happens in medicine, something so simple, yet so effective, that it changes the way we think about the body. For me, that moment came when I realized what happens when you combine beetroot, pomegranate, and watermelon. Individually, they each have their strengths. One opens your arteries, one protects your nitric oxide, and one fuels its production. But when you bring them together in the right balance, the results are unlike anything I've seen from any supplement or medication. I call it the triple nitric oxide booster, and it's one of the most powerful natural combinations I've ever recommended to my patients. Imagine 3 separate highways suddenly merging into one wide, open road where blood can move freely and smoothly. That's exactly what this formula does inside your arteries. It clears the path for oxygen, nutrients, and energy to reach every corner of your body. I remember a patient named Daniel, 65, who had tried everything from prescription pills to herbal remedies. He said he felt stuck between frustration and fatigue. When I introduced him to this combination, he hesitated but agreed to try. 2 weeks later, he walked into my office smiling. "Doc," he said, "I didn't expect it to be this noticeable. I just feel alive again." That's when I knew we were onto something special. Here's how it works. The beetroot provides natural nitrates. These act as the spark, sending the first wave of nitric oxide through your bloodstream. The watermelon adds citrulline, which your body converts into arginine, fueling even more nitric oxide production. And the pomegranate finishes the job by protecting all that nitric oxide from being destroyed by oxidative stress. It's a perfect synergy, 3 forces working together in harmony. When you drink them in the right proportions, your arteries expand, your circulation deepens, and your endurance improves. Most men describe the feeling not as a sudden rush, but as a steady, calm power, a warmth that spreads through the body, reminding you that vitality never truly disappears. It just needs to be awakened. It's not about overstimulation, it's about restoration. You're not forcing your body to perform, you're allowing it to remember how. If you want to make it yourself, it's simple. Mix 8 ounces of beetroot juice, 6 ounces of watermelon juice, and 4 ounces of pomegranate juice. Stir or shake gently and drink it at room temperature about an hour before intimacy. That's the sweet spot when nitric oxide peaks in your bloodstream. Drink it a few times a week, and over time, you'll notice your baseline energy, focus, and mood improving too. The beauty of this formula is that it's not just for one night. It retrains your blood vessels to open naturally again, even when you're not thinking about it. Your body becomes more responsive, your heart stronger, your mind clearer. But there's more to maintaining that transformation than just one drink. To make these results last and to recover faster, you need a daily rhythm that supports your circulation around the clock. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. 7. Daily routine and recovery tips. Over the years, I've learned that lasting transformation doesn't come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you do every single day. You can have the best drink in the world, but if your daily habits are working against you, the results won't last. That's why I always tell my patients that consistency is the secret ingredient behind every success story. You're not just repairing blood flow for one night, you're retraining your entire circulatory system to stay open, flexible, and alive for the long term. I like to think of your blood vessels as living memory. The more often you feed them the right nutrients, the more they remember how to expand naturally. That's why building a daily rhythm is so powerful. It teaches your body to produce nitric oxide like it did years ago. You're not forcing it, you're reminding it. Here's what I often recommend to my patients, and it's incredibly simple. Start your morning with a small glass of pure pomegranate juice. Think of it as your daily armor. It protects your nitric oxide from breaking down and primes your arteries for the day ahead. Then, sometime in the afternoon, give your system a boost with either beetroot juice or a smoothie that includes fresh watermelon. This keeps your nitric oxide levels elevated and your circulation humming steadily throughout the day. But recovery is just as important as activation. That's where 2 overlooked allies come in: tart cherry juice and green tea. Tart cherry juice is rich in antioxidants that repair your blood vessel walls after a long day. It also contains melatonin, the sleep hormone that not only helps you rest deeply, but also supports vascular healing overnight. When you drink a small glass a few hours before bed, you're doing more than helping yourself sleep. You're helping your arteries rebuild while you rest. Green tea, on the other hand, is your daytime protector. It's loaded with compounds like EGCG and L-theanine that calm inflammation and protect the enzyme responsible for creating nitric oxide. It gives you focused energy without the crash, and that calm clarity is something most men in their 60s tell me they've been missing. You can even combine cooled green tea with a splash of pomegranate juice for what I call the endothelial health blend, a drink that keeps your blood vessels flexible and your mind sharp all day long. And there's one last detail that ties everything together: hydration. It's something so simple that most men overlook it. Without enough water, your blood volume drops, and even the best nitric oxide booster can't do its job. I recommend drinking 16 to 20 ounces of water 2 to 3 hours before intimacy, not right before. That gives your body time to absorb it, restoring volume and pressure so blood can flow freely when it counts. So remember, pomegranate in the morning, beetroot or watermelon in the afternoon, tart cherry before bed, and steady hydration throughout the day. Do this not as a chore, but as a ritual, a way of honoring the body that's carried you through life. Because when you care for your circulation daily, you're not just improving performance, you're rebuilding confidence, focus, and vitality from the inside out. And when you combine this daily rhythm with one final mindset shift, the understanding that your body can still grow stronger, no matter your age, that's when the real transformation begins. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. 8. Takeaway and next episode teaser. When I sit across from my patients and see the relief in their faces, I'm reminded why I do this work. Every man who walks into my office carries the same quiet question: can I really get my strength back? And after decades in medicine, my answer has never changed. Yes, you can. Because your body was never designed to fade. It was designed to repair, adapt, and thrive when given the right support. You've now learned the simple truth that changed everything for thousands of men: that blood flow is the foundation of masculine vitality, and that nature has already provided the tools to restore it. Beetroot juice opens your arteries. Pomegranate shields that precious nitric oxide from destruction. Watermelon fuels your body to make even more of it. Together, they form a triple alliance that can reignite your circulation, your confidence, and your connection to life itself. Add to that a daily rhythm of hydration, recovery, and rest. And you're not just improving your performance, you're rebuilding your foundation. You're sending a message to your body: I'm not done yet. I've seen men in their 70s and even 80s light up with the energy they thought was gone forever. Not because of a pill or a shortcut, but because they learned how to work with their biology instead of against it. The look in their eyes when they say, "Doc, I feel like myself again." That's not just satisfaction, that's rebirth. If you take only one thing from this message, let it be this: your blood vessels are alive. They listen, they respond, and the moment you start caring for them, the moment you give them oxygen, nutrients, and balance, your body remembers what it means to be strong. Every glass of beetroot, every sip of pomegranate, every drop of watermelon juice isn't just a drink. It's a signal to your system to wake up, open up, and live again. So I challenge you, try the 1-hour ritual this week. Feel the warmth return to your body, the strength rise in your chest, and the confidence flow back into your life. Because once you experience what true circulation feels like, you'll never go back to living without it. And don't stop here. In our next episode, I'll show you a nighttime ritual that triples your testosterone naturally while you sleep. No pills, no injections, just the power of your body's own rhythm. Because when you pair healthy blood flow with hormonal balance, that's when you unlock the full potential of your manhood. Stay tuned, gentlemen. The best chapter of your health story is still ahead. Conclusion. When I look back over the years I've spent treating men's health, one truth stands out above everything else. Vitality doesn't fade because of age. It fades because we stop giving the body what it needs to thrive. I've seen it again and again. Men come into my office tired, frustrated, and quietly afraid that their best days are behind them. But after just a few weeks of nourishing their circulation, something remarkable happens. Their color returns, their posture straightens, and their eyes begin to shine again. It's as if their bodies suddenly remember what it means to feel alive. We began this journey by exposing a simple but devastating truth: that one common mistake can cut blood flow in half during intimacy. Yet we also discovered something far more important: that blood flow can be restored naturally, powerfully, and quickly. You've now learned about the core principle that drives every part of a man's vitality: nitric oxide, the molecule that opens your arteries and fuels your strength from within. And you've learned the exact natural allies that make it possible to reclaim that power. Beetroot juice creates the spark, sending nitrates into your system to awaken blood flow. Pomegranate guards that spark, keeping nitric oxide alive and active for hours. Watermelon adds fuel to the fire, helping your body create even more of it through citrulline. Together, they form the triple nitric oxide booster. an extraordinary synergy that restores circulation in every sense of the word. When combined with hydration, tart cherry recovery, and green tea focus, this simple routine becomes something greater, a daily act of renewal. I often tell my patients that what we're really doing here isn't just improving erections or stamina, we're rebuilding confidence, connection, and purpose. The ability to feel strong and capable doesn't just live in your muscles, it lives in your bloodstream. When you open those arteries, you open up life itself. Every beat of your heart becomes a reminder that you are still vibrant, still masculine, and still very much alive. So take this knowledge and make it part of your day. Start with one small habit: a morning glass of pomegranate, a beetroot smoothie before exercise, a watermelon juice before intimacy. Give your body the signal it's been waiting for. Because every time you do, you're not just improving circulation, you're rewiring your body to perform, recover, and feel the way it was designed to. I've spent more than 30 years watching men transform not because of expensive treatments, but because they learned to trust the natural intelligence of their bodies. You don't need to fight age, you need to cooperate with it. Your body isn't slowing down out of failure, it's asking for support. Give it that support, and it will give you your life back. And as you carry this forward, remember, your best years aren't behind you. They're waiting for you to wake your body up again. This isn't about chasing youth, it's about reclaiming vitality. Because when your blood flows freely, so does your confidence, your energy, and your connection to the people you love. This is Dr. Mohit Khera, reminding you that your body still remembers how to perform, how to heal, and how to thrive. All you have to do is give it the chance. Gentlemen, if this video helped you understand your body better, if it gave you hope, clarity, or even just one useful idea, please take a moment to support the channel. Hit that like button right now. It tells YouTube that this message matters and helps it reach more men who need it. Share this video with a friend, a brother, or anyone you know who might be struggling in silence. You never know whose life you could change just by sending them this information. And I want to hear from you. Type in the comments below what you felt after watching. Did you try any of the drinks I mentioned? Did you feel a difference in your energy or confidence? Your feedback helps me shape every new video I make. Finally, if you believe in this mission to help men restore their strength naturally, consider donating through the link below. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps us create more science-backed, ad-free content to educate, inspire, and change lives. Thank you for being part of this community. Your support keeps this message alive.